Hello, viewers. A new challenge has been put up for the diecast community, and it's from a relatively new YouTuber. The channel is called 32 Wheels, so 32 space wheels. The number's 32 space wheels. I found out about this through XLT Off-Road Bears channel, and so it's always good to look around other people's channels, because you find out new channels. So anyways, 32 Wheels, I see you've been doing some reviews for a month now, so welcome to the community, and hopefully you'll have a bunch more to come, because no matter how many people review the same diecast, it's still just cool to see, like, the same diecast, right? Just have other people's opinions of them, so I think it's great. Anyway, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. I am going to have 6 of my favorite cars that I picked up this year, but I have to have a few honorable mentions because I'm pretty new to collecting myself. I only started back in November last year. And so Hot Wheels is a logical choice to begin with. And this is my favorite Hot Wheels, I think, from this year. It's the premium Mercedes. I put some 3D printed hubcaps in there, though. But even with the standard wheels, it's a cool looking casting. And I think it actually measured out to be around 1/64 scale, so that's an even great plus benefit. I just love the interior, everything about this thing. Okay, so most people are familiar with Hot Wheels, but I find that, the longer you're in a hobby, you discover other brands. So one brand I only really discovered in the last month is BM Creations, also known as Diecast Masters. So if anyone's into like drift cars, these cars actually have steering front wheels, so you can actually drift into a turn, and so that's why I really like this brand. So, okay, I have videos on all these models, by the way, if you want to check them out. And then probably the greatest honorable mention was recommended to me by a viewer, Seismic64, is to check out LCD Models. And this is the first one I got. I bought it off a website called Small Ants Models, and it was like $16. But this is one of the most technically awesome models you can get. The carbon fiber looks real. This one has like an Alcantara interior. I've never seen another model have an interior that wasn't smooth plastic. This one has like a suede texture. It's just insane how good this model is, and at least from that website, Small Ants Model, it's not that expensive. So that's the last honorable mention I have to throw in there. Okay, so now, boys, I guess we'll start with the less expensive ones here. I have to throw in a Kyosho because the majority of everything I have are Kyoshos. I have exponentially more Kyoshos than any other brand. And this is the favorite one I picked up this year. It's an Alfa Romeo, I think it's a 1750 GT-AM. Sorry, let's see here. I probably should actually looked at this, but yeah, it is a 1750 GT-AM. In typical Kyosho, it's got plastic headlights, taillights, or does it have plastic taillights? Yeah, it does. Some of them do have painted taillights if they're really small. And then it's got a little separate mirror. It's got tiny holes in those wheels. So, anyways, it's just a cool looking car. And then Kyosho does a really good job of making these models look like a real car. So this is a nice one. Okay. So the next, I guess I'll leave that down here. The next one is by Oshima, and this is a Nissan Skyline, and it's modified by Liberty Walk. So Aoshima, the brand of model company, they have a bunch of series called the Grachan Collection, which is basically the Japanese Bosozoku style, or they're slammed drift car type of vehicles. This is a really mild one. They have some crazy body kits on the other ones. So I'm trying to get every casting that Aoshima has done in this Grachan series. I think I'm missing one casting, so there'll be a big video on these later. But another thing about Aoshima, at least these Grachans, the paint quality is really fantastic. Super smooth. Very rarely, even with the old models I pick up, there isn't much issue with paint rash compared to, say, Kyosho. So it's a great brand if you like modified JDM cars. So, okay. So the next one would be by CM Models or CM's Models. Now this company's out of business, but I love rally racing. Um, Sadly, I don't actually watch rally racing now, but I used to watch it a lot when I had the Speed channel. And I feel that rally racing, at least for on four wheels, is the most insane racing out there because they're doing grip racing and drift racing on different surfaces. You know, whether it's tarmac, gravel, snow, these guys are doing it all, and they're doing it without safety barriers. You know, they're driving right next to trees and stone walls and stuff like that. So that's why I like rally racing, and in particular, classic rally cars. So this is one of my favorite cars of all time now. I've come to realize that through collecting diecast cars. It's a Fiat 131 Abarth Rally, and it basically looks like a box with fender flares. It's just so ridiculous looking that I like it. So, so it's not even actually to scale. The Kyoshos are more to scale. This one's actually too wide. So, but the details are really great for a company that doesn't even exist anymore. Look at it. It's got 6 plastic inserted headlights, and it's got a roll cage and the plastic taillights, and just all the printing is all tampoed printed. They're not decals that will break off in the future. So CM's they made a lot of historic rally cars. Unfortunately, they're expensive because they're no longer in business, so that's unfortunate. Okay, so now another brand that unfortunately is out of business, to my understanding, is Biante, and this is a Ford XC that raced at the Bathurst 500, I believe. And again, the technical details that Biante put into their models is just fantastic. Those are some of the nicest mesh wheels I've seen in all my models. And then all the different colors going on in the interior. There are actually 2 different seats, and they're in 2 different colors, and just all these little details. Again, tampo printing. They're not decals, so I have no idea how old this model is, but it could be more than 10 years old from what some other people have commented on my channel. So I see no flaws with it. There's no I don't think there's any paint rash or no casting gouges or anything. So it's a real shame that Biante doesn't exist anymore because these things are just great. All right. So now a resin model. This model is $35 delivered, so that includes the shipping cost. It's made by a brand called JEC. This is almost almost perfect model. The only thing that's wrong with this model is the door handles are not painted silver, or ideally they would have been separate chromed door handles. But everything else on this model is just fantastic. I mean, the 90-degree perpendicular triple windshield wipers. The interior, I think, has metal rub strips on the luggage rack. It's a different color. It's not just black. You know, there's silver painted in there. The dashboard is black. The steering wheel is multiple color. And then the outside, you get all these photo etched metal pieces, like the chrome trim on the top of the front fenders, the chrome trim around the windows. The windows themselves are flat pieces of plastic, so you can see through both sides of the car. As a rearview mirror, the wheels are actually photo etched metal spokes, so there's literally air passing between the wheels of spokes. So it's just amazing. And if you, I don't know, I mean, $35 is definitely a lot to pay for one model, but the way I've rationalized it is, could I make this model myself for $35? No way. If you gave me the blank, just all the pieces of this, it would probably take me 50 hours to try to make this thing properly, but I'd probably have to make it 10 to 20 times before I got it right. So that's how I can justify paying $35 for a model, because, you know, it would take me forever to try to make something like this. It's just so well done. Okay, so this is a resin model, and that's why it looks so darn good. And so the last one, if you watch my channel, you probably know what it is because it's the greatest 1/64 scale model that's ever been made, in my opinion. It's the Terzo Millennial by MR Collection, or MR Collection Models. That's the brand name. And in particular, it's this paint job. Well, first, the model itself, again, is technically got a lot of crazy detail parts. But also, this paint job is just insane. So, I don't show it off too often, so I'm actually going to turn the lights off here. And I'm going to pull out a flashlight, and you're going to see this thing glow almost. So that's just ambient light. So, boy, the camera is making it too bright. But when I look at it with the naked eye, it looks like a squid, like a bioluminescent squid. It's just so nicely done. And I can actually see the interior better now without the lights on, which is quite interesting. That's strange. I've never noticed that before. The interior is quite clear. I'm not sure what the YouTube will show, but maybe because the interior has this hexagonal pattern on it that's reflective. Maybe with the lights on, it's actually reflecting too much light inside that greenhouse. So that is nice. That's an interesting little discovery I just made there. Hopefully the YouTube will show that, so I apologize if it doesn't. Okay, light photo booth back on. So yeah, now the interior is much harder to see. Interesting. Okay, so let me arrange these in some sort of order. That is definitely the best one. I think I would have to go with the Fiat, second best. Possibly the Biante, third best. The Jaguar, just because of its technical prowess, not particularly because of the car. It's a nice car and all, but I think I actually like the model technical details more than the subject. Okay, so those would be my 6. So least favorite, I guess, would be this Aoshima Skyline, still great. Then I would like these Kyosho Alpha next. Then this Jag because of the model details. Then the Biante because I don't know anything about Australian cars. I really don't even know much about any cars, but I'd never even seen or heard about this one, so it's really educational for me to learn about Australian cars. And then the plus is Biante makes a really nice model of them. And then, I love rally racing and CMs, even though it's not exactly 1/64 scale. Man, that's a cool model. Just, I really love the details of it. And then it's really hard to argue against a concept Lamborghini that looks so particularly aggressive and radical. And then the model itself, the paint quality is just immaculate. It's a perfect model, which is rare to find. Okay, so that is it. I appreciate the challenge put up by 32 Wheels. I appreciate finding it through XLT Off-Road Bears channel. And then I really just appreciate everyone else tuning into my channel to leave comments and stuff. It's really fun to always go back and look at the cars that you've picked up because you kind of forget. I always have new models coming in, the new flavor of the day, but every now and then it's just nice to go back and realize that the money you spent was worthwhile because you still look at these things and you're like, wow, those are cool models. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next challenge. Thanks for watching.